Hey, this is Jim at Broadfield. Thanks for joining us again this week for another dealer webinar. We start every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 15 minutes or less. We're going to give you the information you need to help close sales. And it's Liquid Lunch with Broadfield. So we're going to start by talking about a nice new craft beer today. This is from DeClaw Brewery out of Baltimore, Maryland. And the reason I selected this one today is because the name of the beer is Sweet Baby Jesus. Today we're going to be talking about some worship bundles featuring the HTS Gear. And what better way to close a sale when you walk into a house of worship than to bring them a 6-pack of Sweet Baby Jesus. Sweet Baby Jesus is a chocolate and peanut butter porter. It drinks very well. It's a little bit hoppy, but has a really nice flavor and a nice dark brewed beer that drinks very smooth. You would expect the chocolate and peanut butter flavors to be in some of the thicker stouts, so this is quite refreshing. And it's, like I said, out of DeClaw, right out of Baltimore, Washington, Baltimore, Maryland, I should say. First time I had this was actually on a connecting flight on Southwest Airlines through the BWI airport, where they have a brewery right there in the airport as well. And it's just a great selection. Now, one thing I have found with the bottles from DeClaw is that the taste can vary from one batch to the next. This batch happens to be a little peanut buttery than usual, but it really is a great drinking taste. And you'll get some laughs when you walk into your house of worship, selling them one of these bundles that we're going to talk about today with the 6-pack of Sweet Baby Jesus. And because DeClaw is pretty big, it's not going to be too difficult to come by in finding these at your local beverage centers. So we're going to get started here in just a moment. Thank you for joining us again this week for Liquid Lunch with Broadfield Distributing. Every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to bring you a dealer webinar in 15 minutes or less to give you the news to help you close the sales. Today, I'm talking about a Telestream Wirecast NDI streaming bundles that we actually worked with Telestream, PTZOptics, NewTek, and HTS to create these special bundles that you can bring into any house of worship, or for that matter, anyone who's doing live production and streaming. There are going to be a ton of promotions throughout the industry over the next month leading up to the WFX Expo. PTZOptics spearheaded this campaign by putting together a giveaway with their offering houses of worship a chance of winning a $15,000 bundle by signing up at ultimatestreambundle.com. So feel free to use that as an opportunity with the customers that you work with in the house of worship industry, where you can invite them to enter to win the bundle themselves, and you can speak to them about sales now and leading up to that time as well. PTZOptics is at ultimatestreambundle.com, and that's where they'll find the entry where they can sign up there. Broadfield Distributing is working very closely with PTZOptics and all the vendors included in these bundles, and we'll start getting the lead reports back from the people who register. Tell us that you're going to be supporting this bundle program, reach out to your Broadfield salesperson, and we'll make sure to share those leads with you so we can get as many of these houses of worship closed as possible. They've also sponsored an article that was just published in Church Production Magazine, one of the top magazines reaching out to the industry. This article is the 5 steps to your best church streaming system. In that article, it goes over all of the products that you see in this bundle here, including the HTS Gear, the HTS, the NewTek Connect Spark, and the PTZOptics NDI HTS Cameras. Of course, you can work with your customers to customize those bundles with the NewTek cameras, with cables, with any other products that you that you see fit, and your Broadfield salesperson can definitely help you out with that. You may also want to invite your customers to join a joint webinar that's going to be held on Thursday, October 25th. This webinar is going to be hosted by Telestream, PTZOptics, HTS, LiveView, and more. So your customers can join this webinar. We'll have invitations coming out shortly, and they can hear firsthand from all the manufacturers that help put these together. So now let's go into the bundles themselves. The first bundle at just under $3,000 is a complete NDI production system. With the Wirecast Pro software on any Mac or Windows PC, a PTZOptics 12X NDI camera, and the Roland Rubix 22 mixer or 22 USB audio interface, your customers will have everything they need to create a live production system. They can bring other cameras into the laptop directly. They can also add additional cameras to make this system even more robust. Since Wirecast software has the full NDI support, you can add as many of these cameras as you'd like throughout the system. The next steps of the bundles, and there's going to be 4 more bundles that we're going to walk through, are all going to be upgraded with a Wirecast Gear turnkey system. One of the biggest things you want to do when you walk into a house of worship or any of your live production customers and you start pitching these bundles to them, you want to give them the reliability and security of knowing that the system they have is going to properly run the Wirecast software. That's where the Wirecast Gear comes in. The Wirecast Gear is a complete turnkey system built and configured to run the Wirecast Pro software and to create a stable live production system for them to use. This is the Wirecast Gear 110, which is their HDMI model, packaged with the HTS control surface, specifically built for Wirecast, the PTZOptics NDI camera, a new TechNet Spark HDMI, so they can take their current HDMI camera and communicate back to the Wirecast Gear as well, and the Roland Rubix 22 USB audio interface, all for just $79.99. That's going to be about a $350 savings over the regular cost of the bundle. And it's a great package, and it's a great sales tool to be able to walk into your customers and lay down a one sheet and say, this is everything you'll need to get up and going. The next system is for your customers who are using SDI workflows. Instead of talking with them about the Wirecast Gear 110, let's move them up to the Wirecast Gear 210, which is also going to expand the storage capabilities built into the unit itself, but also give them the capability of mixing their current SDI cameras with the new NDI workflow that you're promoting with the PTZOptics camera and the TechNet Spark HDMI. The Wirecast Gear 210 bundle is going to come in at just under $9,000. Next, we're moving up to the Wirecast Gear 230. The beauty of the Wirecast Gear 230, especially when you're speaking to the house of worship market, is that you have configurable I/O connections. You can take your output now from the Wirecast Gear 230 and stream out to your CDN, but also configure an output to go back to the iMac projection systems that they have already installed in the church itself. This is a great selling feature when you're selling into a lot of markets, not just house of worship. Sports production, corporate users, all can benefit from that capability, and assigning that connection as an output, when you combine it with your NDI sources, you're really losing nothing from a production point of view. When you take your input sources and you move them to NDI, all of those ports are free to feed them wherever you need to in order to fit into that application. The Wirecast Gear 230 bundle with the HTS controller, and now we're upgrading the bundle to 2 PTZOptics cameras, one 12X NDI HX model and one 20X NDI HX model, plus the new TechNet Spark HDMI and the Rubix 22 USB audio interface, all for under $13,000. So again, with this package, you give them the SDI production capabilities, the assignable I/O connections, 2 PTZOptics NDI cameras, and a TechNet Spark to use with their current camera, all for under $13,000. We think this is going to be one of the top selling bundles into these markets. Next is the Ultimate NDI Streaming Bundle. The Ultimate Bundle is the same as the bundle that we just discussed, adding the Live Use Solo with a 1-year subscription to their LRT cloud service and a 1-year subscription to the new Solo virtual cloud graphics. The advantage of using the LiveView Solo with a production bundle like this is especially helpful for your house of worship customers who are in extremely remote locations. I've spoken to churches all over the country, some who are in very rural areas, who don't have a reliable and stable internet connection. They don't have the upload speeds to be able to send their weekly services out to their CDNs. LiveView Solo fixes that. You can take the output from the HTS Gear 230. Remember, you have the assignable outputs. So you can take one of those outputs, feed it into the LiveView Solo, hook up 2 USB cellular connections, and broadcast your service anywhere to any CDN. You can also take that LiveView Solo, throw it into a backpack, throw it into a carrying case, and bring it out onto the field to expand the production capabilities of the church. One of the major advantages that churches are looking for is more community involvement. Having a LiveView Solo on hand with them allows them to take that outreach out into the community and to be able to broadcast those events the same way they would broadcast their weekly service back in the church itself. So this complete package is what we call the ultimate NDI streaming bundle at $15,499. And again, these packages can all be customized along the way. So let's review what all is in these bundles. Obviously, the first key component is the HTS Gear systems. We did mention the first cost-leading bundle with the HTS Pro software, but really the meat of this pitch is to get your customers hooked up with a HTS Gear 110, 210, or 230. Listen to your customers, speak to them about their needs. If they need that assignable I/O capability, the move to the Gear 230 definitely justifies that additional investment. Next is the HTS Controller for Wirecast. If you're working with a house of worship who has a large volunteer base who's going to be using the production, giving them these tactile keys and this control surface in order to control their production makes the learning curve much easier for a lot of people. Giving this control surface allows them to access some more advanced features in the live production software without a huge learning curve. It's really a great add-on, and it also makes the production system look and feel much more professional and more robust that anyone can sit up and learn as well. The PTZOptics NDI PTZ Cameras. There are 3 lenses to choose from. You saw when we got to the 210 and 230 packages, we bundled them with a 12x and a 20x model. We find that those 2 options are really a good fit in most applications. PTZOptics, though, has introduced a new 30x model, and of course, all 3 of these are available in your choices of either gray or white. The white happens to be very popular in the house of worship space. The 12x cameras are available at $19.99 MSRP, the 20x at $20.99, and the 30x at $21.99. The NewTek Connect Spark converters. NewTek Connect Sparks are available for HDMI cameras at $4.95 MSRP, SDI cameras at $7.95 MSRP. The new Connect Spark Pro we hope to have in here in the next few weeks at a $9.95 MSRP, adds 4K to full NDI production capabilities. And then, of course, there's the NewTek NDI HX camera at a $27.99 MSRP. So the bundles that you see that we have configured include the Connect Spark HDMI models. Obviously, that can be swapped out for the Connect Spark SDI, as can any camera be swapped out for the NewTek camera as well. Different customers have different brand loyalties. Different customers have different features that they need along the way. We're not going to tell you how to best meet your customer needs. We're just going to give you the best options and the best products to do so. So roll your sleeves up, get out there with these products that you know are going to work together, with the HTS Gear systems and configure this NDI message to create a complete solution for exactly what your customer needs. The Roland USB audio interfaces, the Rubix 22 is the USB audio interface that we're using in our studio here. It's a small 2-channel interface that really serves a lot of needs and allows you to bring that audio directly into a TriTester or a HTS Gear system through the USB interface itself. They also have the Rubix 24 and 44 models available as well. And these are available from Broadfield. Even though we're a Roland Pro Video distributor, these Pro Audio interfaces do make a perfect fit in the live production space. And by adding them to our line card, it gives you one more product to offer this complete bundled solution. I also want to remind you that we are now carrying the Roland Professional cables. The SDI and HDMI cables from Roland can be added to any of these bundles and any of these sales. If you're going to provide your customers with every product they need to get up and running, ask the questions. What cameras are they using? What cables do they need? The NDI technology allows them to speak over the network to the HTS Gear itself, but the cameras are still going to have to be connected to a Spark, or there may be other cameras that are going to be connected directly to an SDI input. We have those cables available to offer to your customers, and Roland's cables have the same quality and reliability as every product along the Roland product line. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget your 6-pack of Sweet Baby Jesus when you go in and you sell one of these ultimate streaming bundles. Next week, we are going to be live from the NAB New York show. If you're going to be at the show, definitely stop by and say hello to Broadfield. We are going to be at booth number N119 with our friends from Atomos, NewTek, LaCie, Avid, and Telestream. We will actually have one of these Telestream Wirecast streaming bundles up and running at the show, so definitely stop by and take a look. Coming back, we are going to have some video interviews roving around from the show floor. We'll bring those with you, including any new product announcements, promotions, or other Q4 events that you need to be aware of. And then November 1st, the same way we do in the first of every month, we'll bring you our November specials, news, new products, and what's shipping. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly, jim@broadfield.com. If you have other suggestions for a nice craft beer that fits well for your sales, definitely let us know. If there's a brewery in your area, I want to hear about it. I want to know what you like and what's good from them. Reach out to me or your Broadfield sales team, Rich, Dan, John, Angel, Glenn, or Jared, and they can help answer any of your questions or get you the price sheets for these streaming bundles so you can get selling on them today. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers, so call us at 800-634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.